I am Emily, and this is one of the most exciting stories my grandma ever told me. It's a tale of mystery, danger, and a little bit of magic. Every time she told it, I felt like I was right there with her, in that grand mansion, surrounded by glittering chandeliers and whispers of secrets. Are you ready? Let me take you back to the night when the Star of Pemberton disappeared. Grand party. It was a warm summer evening, and the Pemberton mansion was glowing like a jewel itself. The towering building stood on a hill, overlooking the town below. Inside, the air buzzed with excitement as people in glittering gowns and sharp tuxedos mingled, their laughter echoing through the grand hall. My grandma, who was just a young woman at the time, was there too. She wasn't rich or famous like the other guests. She had been invited because she worked for the Pemberton family as an assistant. Her job was to help organize the grand party, an annual event that showcased the family's wealth and power. At the center of the party was the Star of Pemberton, a magnificent jewel that sparkled under the light like a piece of the night sky. It was displayed in a glass case at the top of a marble staircase. Everyone admired it, whispered about it, and some even envied the Pemberton family for owning such a treasure. But as the evening went on, something unexpected happened that would change everything. Blackout. It started with a flicker of the lights. The chandeliers above swayed slightly, and the golden glow dimmed for a moment. People paused, looking up, unsure of what was happening. Then, suddenly, the entire mansion was plunged into darkness. Gasps and murmurs filled the air. For a few seconds, the only sound was the rustling of dresses and the shuffling of feet. My grandma said she felt a strange chill run down her spine, as if the darkness was alive, moving through the crowd like a shadow with a purpose. When the lights came back on, everything seemed normal at first. People laughed nervously, brushing off their discomfort. But then someone screamed. All heads turned toward the glass case, where the Star of Pemberton had been displayed. The glass was shattered, and the jewel was gone. The investigation begins. Chaos erupted. Guests began to shout, accusing each other, while the Pemberton family tried to calm everyone down. The head of the family, Mr. Arthur Pemberton, called for the police immediately. Within minutes, detectives arrived and started questioning everyone at the party. Grandma said the atmosphere changed completely. The once joyous and glamorous event now felt tense and suffocating. People who had been smiling and laughing were now suspicious and guarded. The detectives asked everyone where they had been during the blackout. But no one had a solid alibi. After all, it was only dark for a minute. Grandma herself was questioned. She told the detectives that she had been near the kitchen, helping the staff serve drinks. But she noticed something unusual during the blackout. A faint sound, like the rustling of fabric and hurried footsteps, had come from the direction of the staircase. Mysterious stranger. As the night went on, suspicion began to fall on one particular guest, a man no one seemed to know. He had arrived late to the party, dressed in an elegant suit, wearing a hat that shadowed his face. He had spoken to almost no one, and had been standing near the staircase before the lights went out. When the detectives tried to question him, they discovered he was gone. It was as if he vanished into thin air, Grandma said, her voice dropping to a whisper whenever she got to this part of the story. No one saw him leave. No one knew who he was. It was as if he was a ghost. Secret passage. Determined to solve the mystery, detectives began searching the mansion. That's when they discovered something extraordinary. A hidden door behind one of the grand bookshelves in the library. It led to a narrow, winding staircase that descended deep into the earth. Grandma, being naturally curious, followed the detectives as they explored the secret passage. She said the air grew colder and damper the farther they went. The staircase eventually led to an underground room filled with old furniture, dusty books, and strange artifacts. In the corner of the room was a small wooden box, locked with a heavy padlock. The detectives forced the box open, but instead of the Star of Pemberton, they found something even more puzzling. A collection of old letters and photographs. The letters revealed a long, forgotten scandal involving the Pemberton family. It seemed the family's wealth had not been entirely earned, but had come from less honorable means. The underground chase. Just as the detectives finished examining the letters, they heard footsteps echoing through the passage. Someone else was down there. Grandma described the tension in the air as they turned off their flashlights, trying to stay hidden. The footsteps grew louder, and then they saw him, the mysterious stranger from the party. He was holding a lantern, its dim light casting eerie shadows on the walls. He moved quickly, as if he knew exactly where he was going. The detectives decided to follow him, keeping a safe distance. They trailed him through a series of tunnels that seemed to stretch on forever. Eventually, he reached a chamber even larger than the first. In the center of the room was an altar, and on it lay the Star of Pemberton. The stranger approached the jewel, muttering something under his breath. Grandma couldn't understand the words. She said they sounded like an ancient chant. The detectives decided to act. They rushed into the room, shouting for the stranger to stop. But before they could reach him, he grabbed the jewel and disappeared into another hidden passage. It was as if the walls themselves had swallowed him whole. Deeper mystery. Detectives were baffled. How could someone vanish so completely? They searched the chamber and found more clues. Markings on the walls that resembled the symbol from the photograph Grandma had received. The markings seemed to tell a story, one of betrayal, loss, and a curse placed upon the jewel. Grandma said. Detectives became increasingly convinced that the jewel was more than just a valuable artifact. It had a history steeped in mystery and danger, and anyone who possessed it was doomed to suffer. Legacy of the jewel. The story doesn't end there. Over the years, Grandma kept digging into the history of the Pemberton family and the Star of Pemberton. She discovered tales of other thefts, strange disappearances, and even deaths connected to the jewel. It seemed to leave a trail of misfortune wherever it went. One theory Grandma found particularly intriguing was that the jewel was part of a larger collection, hidden away by an ancient society dedicated to protecting powerful artifacts. This society believed the Star of Pemberton held the key to unlocking a great secret, one that could change the world forever. Epilogue. To this day, the mystery of the Star of Pemberton remains unsolved. But every time I think about it, I can't help but wonder, what if the jewel is still out there, waiting to be found? What if its story isn't over yet? Maybe one day, someone will uncover the truth and finally solve the mystery of the vanishing jewel. Perhaps that someone could be you.